If you've been playing any Rainbow Six Siege lately, then you probably stopped playing and instead are on the train of doom, painting Rainbow Six Siege's future as a hellscape. Not that I can blame you. With the rapid surge of cheaters, beaters, and pumpkin eaters, many people have left the game, and few that remain are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel grow further and further away, rapidly shrinking into the dark horizon. And the response from the Ubisoft devs has seemingly accelerated this process, with their attempts at extreme monetization.
Give me some money!
Leaving a very sour and nasty taste in the mouth of many players. However, despite this, there's still some gorillion-fold amount of players that are still actively queuing in ranked, one of the players being myself. I also play ranked solo, as in, I don't play with a stack, I'm not duo, trio, or anything like that. I have played all of my matches this season as a solo player, and I've accumulated around 70 matches, and I'm in Plat 3 right now. So you might be questioning my mental state, which a bit later in this video, I'll get into exactly how I endured this and actually made it somewhat enjoyable. But before we get into that, I want to outline the main problems with solo queuing. And honestly, I think the goal of this video is to provide some kind of hope that there is a solution to this, that, you know, things won't stay this bad forever. And I want to explain some ideas about how I think these problems are addressable. And I could definitely see this going the way of people writing me off as devil's advocate, but the truth is, I really just want to give some hope that the game isn't completely chopped, cooked, steamed, boiled, and brined. Now, with that being said, let's get into the first big brutal truth that Siege players have to endure every day. Every day, Siege players endure a brutal, taxing form of torture known as Ranked 2.0. And unfortunately, the truth is that Ranked 2.0 ain't moving a fucking inch. Now, I say this because, well, Ubisoft themselves have proclaimed their absolute and uttermost love for the new ranked system. Despite what players say, Ubisoft just simply doesn't see it that way. And so I believe that the solution for this for the average player is
show me your motivation.
Is honestly just to accept that Ranked 2.0 is the harsh reality we live in. If you genuinely don't like Ranked 2.0, then no one's holding a gun to your head to play the game. And if nostalgia is the one holding a gun, well, this is the hardest part, but you're gonna have to hold the gun to nostalgia's head. And by that I just mean you have to let it go, bro. Ranked 1.0 is not coming back, and it sucks sometimes. Sometimes the harsh reality of these matches is that you have to carry to win. I think that if you are trying to genuinely improve as a Siege player, then matches like this will give you the most to learn from.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Accept Ranked for the shit state that it's in, or play a different game. There are plenty of other competitive games on the market, and to be honest, Siege is kind of losing its integrity as a genuinely fair and competitive experience. Now, if you would be so kind, please allow me to take control of your free will for a moment by scrolling down and leaving a like and subscribing to the John Pickle YouTube channel. We're right on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean a whole freaking lot to me if some of you guys click the subscribe button. One subscriber motivates me an infinite amount to keep making videos and improving my content. So if you'd like to see this little pickle go to the moon, make sure to subscribe and support me down below. So, as probably y'all are well aware of, the cheating problem in Siege is absolutely horrendous as of the release of Siege X. Despite promises from Ubisoft about making the anti-cheat better, and clearly those promises are not showing the current state of the game.
This is bullshit!
And obviously, while solo queuing, playing against cheaters absolutely freaking sucks. Not only do you have to deal with your random teammates as a solo player, but there's also a chance that the people you're fighting are cheating, and ultimately making a wicked cocktail of unfair gameplay throughout the entire match. And really the worst effect of this is that your mental is going to be chalked if you believe that you're playing against a cheater. In my opinion, I think the best way to deal with a cheater in your lobby would honestly just try to not let it get to you. At this point, cheaters are an inevitable factor of ranked Siege, so if you don't like it, then it's honestly just tough luck. Siege solo queue is already unfair as it is, and to be honest, this unfairness doesn't just apply to just Siege. Life itself is unfair, and if you haven't figured that out now, you will figure it out sooner or later. So, the sooner you accept that Siege isn't a particularly fair experience in ranked, then the sooner you'll actually enjoy it and learn and improve. Now, there is one aspect of fairness that I think would be reasonably able to be controlled, and that aspect is playing with and against stacks inside ranked lobbies. As it goes now, whenever you queue into ranked, your MMR is summed up with your team and balanced out with your opponents that is supposed to make the team matchups fair. However, the system is kind of redundant because the implications of stacking with people and Discord implies a lot more unfairness than I think Ubisoft is willing to acknowledge. And by this, all I mean is that people with comms who are in a voice chat are going to be infinitely more effective at communicating than solo queue players who are using push to talk. With that being said, I think that this may be the first problem where a real solution is plausible. And the idea comes from a game I used to play called Destiny 2, which in the later stages of the PvP game mode, the developers added an option where you can queue as a solo player and be matched with and against only other solo players. It was called Freelance, and I think a freelance-like mode in Siege would be insanely beneficial for solo players across every single platform. I mean, just knowing that you're playing with and against other solo players takes off a huge mental burden of dealing with players who are stacked in your lobby. I'm not saying Ubisoft needs to go all in on this idea and bet zero with all their funding, but I think if they gave it a shot in like a public test server or even tried it for one season, the results would provide some insanely interesting data that would really guide the satisfaction of solo players going forward. A somewhat smaller but insanely, absolutely unbearably annoying feature in Siege right now
Start digging und your butt.
that really makes the ranked experience all the less enjoyable is the fact that somehow in the big 2025, we're able to double ban a single ranked map in the map ban in ranked. I mean, even the idea of it is just absolutely ungodly stupid. It's like, cool, both teams decided that we don't like the same map. And I think the solution to this is pretty straightforward and simple. Simply that if the same map is both majority voted by both teams, then a random map, or even the second most voted map on one side of the teams, is the second banned map. This would help me insane amount mentally. It would just save so much headache, and overall, I think it would be a lot more enjoyable not playing maps we actually don't like. Now, if you've played Siege for a long streak of months or years in the past, then you're probably pretty familiar with this next problem. Simply, it's the fact that playing ranked every day eventually leads to extreme burnout and a complete lack of desire or competitivity to play ranked at all. And I honestly think this is a problem. Ranked should be the peaked competitive environment for Siege, and people who are getting bored, I think, should have other options to cure their boredom, or at least enjoy the game, like the entire reason why they're logging on every day. The ideal solution for this is a little far-fetched, but I think it would be absolutely revolutionary for Siege. And the solution would be Ubisoft adding custom servers or a server browser list outside of matchmaking. Basically, games like CSGO, Gmod are games that have server browsers in which players run their own servers. And just to give you an idea, we could see servers with minigames like Michael Myers, or 24/7 map servers like Coastline or Oregon, or even simply an infinite ranked match where everyone's there to chill, you're playing with the same people every match with some slight shuffling. And this might even open the door for modding in Siege, which would add to the absolute player engagement of Siege, which is something the game really, really needs right now. Alright, well, after that, you're probably thinking Siege is absolutely messed up. And to be honest, that statement isn't completely false. Siege isn't in a great state right now, especially if you look in the content space on YouTube. However, I'm going to say something that might surprise you. Ever since Siege X came out, I have been enjoying the game more than I ever have before. And I think that it's because Siege, from a gameplay perspective, is in one of the best states it's ever been. Many content creators will agree with this, and really the only thing hurting the game right now is seemingly the lack of stance against long-term problems. However, these long-term problems don't necessarily have to stop us from enjoying the game, and I'm mainly speaking for myself. At the end of the day, Siege is one of the best competitive games, and nothing can beat the feeling of clutching or winning a hard-fought match. For me, how mentally engaging it is to plan out an attack, or plan a roam or defense, it's so unparalleled, and I really get no other enjoyment like it from any other game. And particularly when I'm solo, I feel like I'm learning so much every day whenever I'm playing by myself. Siege is a team-based game at the end of the day, but learning how to be self-reliant as a solo player is absolutely a valuable skill in this game. And I think simply that going through the pain and fire of solo queue ultimately brings the most results in terms of improvement. After all, heat and pressure is how swords are forged in the flame, so it is absolutely a similar premise when it comes to solo queuing in Siege. Alright, well, I really hope that this gave you an idea of what kind of hope there is for Siege. Every game and every life goes through rough patches, and this is nothing new to Siege at all. Many times in the past, Siege has experienced eras like these, but they're always followed by a more glorious and peaceful era to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it made you laugh or you liked the editing, I would really absolutely appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to the channel, especially if you want to see more Siege videos. Till next time, be safe, and peace, picklers.